You ever have one of those days where you're like trying to keep it together, like you're calm on the outside, but like inside you're falling apart? Yeah. I recently had one of those days. That was me in the Houston airport. All right. So I'm on the plane. I'm coming back from El Salvador, and I have a connecting flight in Houston, right? So for whatever reason, while I was in El Salvador, I was only sleeping for like 3 hours a night, right? Like I don't know, I couldn't get like comfortable, but I was only sleeping for like 3 hours a night. And when I fly, what I've noticed is I made the mistake of taking meds on a plane before, and when I tell you I was about to like die, I was sweating, I was woozy, I was nauseous. It basically felt like I had seasickness, and I took Dramamine, and it was a whole bunch of stuff. So this day, I'm not medicated. I only have 3 hours of sleep, and the plane lands in Houston, right? So I have my shades on because at this point, like the day has started, but I'm like landing towards the evening. I got headphones on, I'm listening to a podcast, and if you know me, anybody would tell you that I like to walk as if I'm like racing. If you ever watch any of those videos, like No Hezzy, with the dudes in New York and they driving like mad crazy, like it's a video game, that's how I walk. Probably not the best thing, but it's like a challenge for me. Like, yo, how fast can I get from point A to point B? Now, there's a reason why I'm telling you that. So, plane lands, I stand up, I have my book bag on, I walk out the plane. Now, Houston, if you ever been to their airport, you know that it is large. Um, and I basically need to get to my next stop because this is my first stop in America. And that means that I need to get off of the plane, go through customs, go get my bag, drop it off, go through security, all like this different kind of stuff, right? So I walk fast, walk very fast, like random tidbit, but about like 4 miles an hour. And that can be like a brisk light jog walk for most people, but I walk fast, right? So again, I'm listening to this podcast. I'm tuned into this podcast. I get off the plane, I'm walking. I'm going through all the little, turn left, turn right, and I start to go through customs. Now the thing is, I have global entry, right? And as I'm like walking through, I'm looking for the signs for global entry. I'm like, cool, I see it, it's empty. I walk through, I stand at the line, there's a family going. They go, again, I'm not really paying attention to them, not staring at them. I'm just in my podcast, locked in, zoned out. I take my shades off and I think I just put my headphones around my neck. And I go up to the customs agent and she's like, Kareem? I'm like, yeah, that's me. At that point, because you already like take your little photo, so they already got you in the system for when you walk up. Now, at this point, I put my shades on, I put my headphones on, and I walk past the agent. I walk past him and I see a guy going towards the left. Nothing to it, right? I follow the guy. I see him get on the elevator. I'm like, well, I don't need to go on the elevator because why am I going on the elevator? So now I'm in this open area and I'm standing there and it feels like I'm in the Twilight Zone. I am standing here and I'm just like, where am I supposed to go? I see some barriers, I see some people on the other side, but without looking nuts, I can't, jump over the like this wall. I don't even like know how to explain it, but I'm like standing here, I look around, I'm just like, where am I supposed to go? I see another like customs agent like, doing the same thing and they're like letting people walk through. They're walking into the same place that I just came from, right? So I'm like, all right, well, I'm obviously lost. Let me walk back around. And as I'm walking around, there is a TSA agent. Oh Lord. And they're like, sir, like, what are you doing over there? And it's all starting to sink in for me. I have walked around barriers, like the rope, like it was like roped off. I walked through a whole section. I walked around it into a sectioned off area that I had no business being in. And I'm just like, yo, they about to have me in the back room bent over talking about cough. And at this point, like I don't, get into my head or anything. I'm just like, damn, I messed up. I acknowledge it, I move on. And she's like, sir, what are you doing? Come here. Da, da, da. And understandably so, like, bro, what the heck are you doing over there? Like, why are you in this secured section that you should not be in? And at this point, I'm starting to pull out my passport, and she's like, "Who are you? What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Look, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I again, I'm just owning up that I made a mistake. I did something wrong." And I'm like, "Yeah, I ended up on this section." And she's like, where are you coming from?" I'm like, "Oh, I literally just talked to that customs agent over there. Um, here's my passport." And she calls her. She's like, "Hey, did you talk to this guy?" And she was like, "Yeah." And again, this is all happening like within seconds. And I'm just like looking like, yo, I literally just walked around this entire section just because I could fit. I don't know. Like I'm just trying to make sense of the situation. And it's just like if I was watching a video of myself, like if this had like popped up on Reddit or something, and I was watching, I'm like, yo, that guy's dumb. Like how you missed that? Well, I was that guy. And at this point, it's still kind of comical in my head. Like, I'm understanding the seriousness of the situation, but it's just like, bro, you goofed. Like you messed up. And at this point, she's like, all right, like the customs agent was just like telling her coworker, she was like, yeah, I just talked to him. Sir, you need to be going right, and you went left. And I'm like, okay, crap, my fault again. I'm gonna go the other way. Now at this point, I'm like putting my headphones like back on. Either that or it's just like I'm just like overwhelmed because of the mistake that I made. And it's just like, trying to tell myself, be more careful, follow the signs, you got somewhere to go. And I hear the lady say, sir, like the same one that called me, not the customs agent, but like the one that called me and was just like, yo, you on the wrong side. And I come back. And again, there's like so much information to process. And at this point, if I remember this correctly, she like walks away. And there is this guy there, another agent. And he, at this point, I'm realizing this is the guy that I followed into almost into the elevator. This was not a regular civilian. This was a TSA agent, and I just like followed him. And now it's all like making sense why he had like this weird look on his face. But like, I'm not thinking about that. Like, and now at this point, I have come to terms with this situation. I have acknowledged that a mistake was made and I have moved on. And he is just like, what were you doing over there? I'm like, oh, I made a mistake. I went the wrong way. And he's like, that's not a good enough answer. And at this point, like now I'm starting to get like frustrated because it's like, why did this lady call me back over here? I've already explained that I made a mistake. I've already owned up to it. Why are you calling me over here now? And now I'm starting to get defensive. Like, again, this is all happening within probably 45 seconds, but it's all happening like so quickly. And it is just like in my head, I'm standing there and I'm just like, bruh, why are you being an asshole now? Because now he's talking to me like as if he's like a cop. Like that arrogance was just like, you know, what are you doing over there? Why are you over there? That's not a good enough answer. And like there was a part of me like again, like I was about to ask him like, so what is a good answer then? Unfortunately, I didn't because I definitely would have been in that back room. But it was just like that was a dumb statement because what else? Because in my head, I'm like, I'm telling the truth. So if that's not a good enough answer, then what is? And there's like this part of me that's like trying to better understand from his point of view, all within like before I can even process it, is just like let's sit down and talk about this. What would have been a good enough answer for you, sir? Like how what would have been a good enough answer? And I end up just like he's just like go. And it again, I'm just like super frustrated. I'm super confused. I'm super overwhelmed. I'm just like all over the place. Again, prior to talking to him, I was like, all right, I made a mistake. I owned up to it. I acknowledged it. And I'm just like, all right, let me just follow the signs. But after talking to him, all of everything like in my world, in my systems of how to deal and cope and I guess I don't know, present as normal, all this kind of stuff is just like starting to crumble. And it felt like I was a kid again like making mistakes and all I could think about was like making mistakes and at this point is like as if somebody else took over me because all I could think about is how I'm going to make mistakes. Now I'm going through the airport. I'm like I basically can't even read anymore. Like is this English or hieroglyphics that I'm reading? It might as well have been because I'm just sitting there at this point like I turned off the podcast. I'm just disoriented and I'm just like lost and confused and like what do I do? Now I'm literally checking like I said I can't even read at this point. So now I need to go to baggage claim. I'm sitting there and I'm just like, well, which baggage claim do I go to? Like I'm lost. I can't read. Like okay, hold up. Let me get back. Let me figure this out. Okay, I got my bag now. Again, I'm still just gliding, and I'm like walking. I'm like I dropped my bag off, and I'm like, is the guy that I'm dropping my bag off to going to tell me that this is not the right place? Am I going to the right place? I checked my app like 37 times because it's just like, nah, I'm definitely not going to the right place. All I could think about is like, bro. I just made a huge mistake and I'm on a connecting flight. Like I'm going to miss my flight. All I could think about is everything that was unhelpful to me in that moment. And now I'm going through security. In my head, I'm still like, all right, I got global entry, so now I don't need to take my shoes off. And everybody's yelling as TSA does, take your bag out, take your laptop out, take your tablet out, take any technology, take your batteries out, take this off, take your shoes off, take your shirt off, take your wallet out, take your watch off, take this off, take your hair off, take like I said, I'm falling apart at this point, and I'm just like, they give me this note. I can't read it. Everything is moving too fast. It honestly feels like if you ever tried to read something in a dream and you just cannot read because every time you look down, it's a different sentence. That's exactly what it felt like. And I'm just like, bruh, the lady's like, hey, take, I think she was like, you need to take your tablet out and you need to take your watch off, take your shoes off. And I'm just like, do I need to take my shoes off? She's like, yeah. And I'm just like, okay. I I'm like I basically just like fell apart. Fortunately, I made it through. I'm home. What did not end up in anybody's back room, did not have to call for anybody, but it was just very interesting to see how quickly everything could just fall apart and it was just like no amount of therapy, no amount of medication. I mean, I wasn't medicated at that point, but it's just, bruh, Lord, come help me. I need help in this moment. I can't do this on my own. Somebody, like, come save me. Like, I just wanted to be a kid again and, like, have my parents come pick me up, put me on their shoulder, and just relieve me of my problems. But I'm not a kid, I'm an adult, and I have to figure this out by myself. And it's scary. But looking back at that moment, it really is just like, dang, I can really spiral very quickly when I make a mistake. You know, I feel like some days you have like this confidence, like I can do anything in the world, and then there's some other days where it's just like I'm a screw up. But honestly, it's just really all about, in my opinion, just acknowledging that you made a mistake, that you make mistakes, and just keep carrying on. That whole story, like for me, once I locked into the fact that I had made a mistake and that's all I could think about, I probably was going to continue to make mistakes. Had I just acknowledged it and walked away. But I mean, it's kind of hard to say because that's where I started. But then when I had the interaction with dude, it kind of just fell apart from there. So every day is just improving a little bit more. But I ain't perfect. It is what it is.